Here's a preview of everything that I'm using. I have my rolled oats. These are gluten-free. You can also have regular. I prefer gluten-free just for my tummy. Unsweetened toasted coconut flakes, again, gluten-free. I have my brown sugar here. We're going to use a little bit of 3/4 cup vegetable oil, honey. I prefer like a really good honey. Local is always best for me. And then this is all the fruit that we're going to need. So we have the cranberries, we have Turkish apricots, they don't have to be Turkish, sliced almonds, salted cashews. I have my cherries, and also my figs. Now, all of this is what the recipe calls for. However, you can substitute any of the dried fruit that is not, for you. Because again, this is your granola. So this is everything that I'm gonna need for us to make this granola. Ignore the lemons, of course, but this is it. It's all here. So now I'm just gonna take the Turkish apricots and dice these. You can do this in a food processor, but I kind of like to do it by hand to control it a bit, because when you put it in the food processor, it can sometimes get stuck on the blade. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, as with all things, because we're going to just mix this in with the granola. So this is just a simple, quick, and you don't have to, if these aren't your fave, you don't have to use these. I'm just using everything the recipe calls for, but you can substitute at will. Okay, so these are dried mission figs. They're, don't let them intimidate you. You can also use fresh figs. If you're going to use fresh figs for your granola, I would put them in at the end, but dried figs work again just the same. So these also are called to be diced. So again, like, I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to dice them really small. And this is what the fig looks like inside. It's super good, but again, you can try it. It's always nice to try something new in a recipe, but if you want to just try a few before and then decide if you want to add, because remember, this is your granola. This could be, your homemade granola of how you like it, or how your partner likes it, or how your family likes it, because granola is something you can add in yogurt, or you could just keep with you for a healthy snack, or keep in your bag or your purse or backpack throughout the day. So we want to make sure I want you to get excited about how you make your granola, and this is something you can do on a Sunday to just kind of make in batches. So again, I'm just dicing it to my liking. I like it a little bit thinner, but you can always do it a lot of different ways. So this is the brand that I usually purchase. It's made in Italy. It's an Italian brand. These containers are super airtight. So this is what I use to put my granola in. This is also something that you can use and give it as a cute little hostess gift as well. But don't get caught up in having to have this particular brand of container. You could use mason jars. You can use a Tupperware container. Whatever works for you. But I just want to tell you guys, I get this from Sur La Table, and I love this brand. So I just wanted to show you. It comes in all different sizes, but I like a larger size. It's also really cute to have out on the counter, or even use it as a centerpiece with a lot of different fruit if you just want to have a healthy centerpiece. But this is the brand that I prefer. So I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to let that preheat while I start to prep my granola. So my first step is I'm going to combine 4 cups of the rolled oats. And this is how granola is made. So when you go into the market and you're seeing a more of a higher end or it's a high price point for granola. This is literally how they're making it. And you can make it as well. So I have my 4 cups of rolled oats. And then I'm going to take 2 cups of the sliced almonds that I already have here. So everything is kind of prepping. So I'm gonna add my almonds. I already have those ready. And then I'm going to add my 2 cups of the shredded coconut here. So I'm gonna add that. Shredded coconut takes a little, I'm just gonna pour it in here, like this. This is what it looks like, guys. It's super golden. So I'm adding my coconut. There we go. And again, it's all in measure of what you like. If you want more coconut, add more coconut. If you want less almonds, that's fine as well. If you're making this for your family and you know your kids or your partner doesn't like certain things, that's okay too. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna combine this all together. So that's all there. So I'm gonna set this aside. So now I'm gonna whisk together 3/4 cup vegetable oil. And I'm also gonna whisk together a 1/2 cup of good honey. And yes, that's what the recipe called for. 1/2 cup good honey, that good. So there we go. There's the honey going in. Nice and yummy. So we're just gonna pour the honey in as well. And if you have a little left, like this is a great tool you can use, and you're just gonna scrape all the goodness in there. Get all everything in there. So this is a really great tool. You know, sometimes you see tools in kitchen stores and you say like, why do I need that? But that's an example of why you would want to use a tool like this when you're baking or you're cooking. So now I'm going to whisk together the oil and the honey together, so it's nice and consistent and all mixed together. And once you have your oil and your honey all mixed, like so, then you're going to pour your liquid mixture of oil and honey over your oats. So now I'm pouring my liquid mixture over my oat mixture that I prepared before. Now the recipe calls to use a wooden spoon, but I don't want you to get frustrated or feel like you have to go out and purchase new items. So I don't have a wooden spoon. And so I'm just gonna use what I have. And all I'm doing right now, and it may seem like, oh, this is not enough, but if you follow the recipe, it's gonna, all we're doing is just coating it. So you're making sure every piece is just coated. So you just, the more you mix it, the more the liquid will coat over your granola and your almonds. Okay, so this is you have to put a little work in, like use some muscle, but just be patient to make sure it's completely coated. So this is what the mixture is going to look like when it's coated, you know. So this is all we did. This took me, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes for me to stir everything in. Oh, there's our oven. So our oven's ready. It's perfect timing. So let's show you, I'm going to go ahead and show you the next steps. Now we're going to take the granola and just spread it over a sheet pan. So if you have like a cookie sheet that just has like a 1 inch, 1 inch in deep, that would be fine. So all I'm doing now, I'm going to take this and I'm spreading it over the sheet pan. So I want it to be, you can use a spatula, you can use the tool that you already have. And I'm just kind of spreading it so it's nice and even. The great thing about a sheet pan is you have a lot of real estate. So there we go. So this is just how it's going to go in, just like this. So this is our step 1 with our granola. So we're going to go ahead and put this in the oven. Our oven just went off. It was 350 degrees, and we're going to bake the granola on the sheet pan for 45 minutes. So even though it's not 45 minutes yet, we still want to check on our granola. So I'm just gonna pull the granola out. It's not ready, but what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna kind of move it around, see, because there's some areas that are getting more heat than others, and a lot of it just depends on your oven. But it's good to just take it, kind of move it around so that it's evenly distributed. And then we'll give it about 5 or 10 more minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and this is about 10 minutes early, so it really just depends on your oven. But I'm gonna go ahead and take it out now. So you just wanna take it out. Then once you take it out, you're just gonna we're gonna let it cool. So that should take about 15 minutes. I'm actually gonna transfer it so it can cool, because if we leave it in this pan, it's gonna cook further. So I transferred the granola here, and it's still warm, but I'm just gonna let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes and cool in this container versus cooling in on the sheet pan, because if we cool it on the sheet pan, then it's gonna continue to cook because the sheet pan has so much heat from coming out the oven. So we're just gonna transfer it to another container and just let it cool, and then we'll do the final step of making the granola. Okay, so now that our granola has cooled, we're gonna go ahead and add all of our dry fruit. So we have our bowl of granola, it's cool. It's already yummy just like this, but now we're gonna layer it with all of our fruit. So we're gonna take our cranberries, we're gonna add it in. And what I like to do is, like, as I layer, I mix, right? So like I have the cranberries, I add them, and then I'm gonna add our nuts in there. Then we're gonna mix it as well. And we're just basically making the granola. Then we're gonna add our figs. And so you're gonna add the dry fruit, and you're just gonna mix it all up together. So here is our completed granola with everything all mixed together. And if you want to see proportionally, this is the container I have it in. So it filled up this whole container, but I'm actually going to transfer it to our little glass containers now.
Is that fine? Let's do it again. Oh my God, there's figs.
Amara's had it.
Yeah.
Ready?
This is confirmation. That is really good.
So Amara's visiting, and guess what she's taking back to the dorms? This granola.
It's really good.